Hey guys, hello everyone, and a very good evening.
Very good evening, sir.
A warm welcome to all present here for today's webinar on career in cloud computing, organized by DIGISAKSHAM in association with SEMS Welfare Foundation. And I am Rajesh, and I'll be glad that I'll be a host for today's session. And talking about the organization, SEMS Welfare Foundation is a professional, not-for-profit entity established to work in the areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development and entrepreneurship, livelihood generation and employability, health, research, culture, international cooperation, sports, environmental protection, etc. Registered with Niti Aayog and MSME, also recognized with Best Service Award for significant national contribution from ITS Education Group. Thames Welfare Foundation has organized various international conferences, seminars, workshops, and webinars in emerging technologies in various parts of India and has an active network of 3,000 plus engineers, managers, researchers, and many more. DIGISAKSHAM is an initiative of SEMS Welfare Foundation and has developed content for over 300 courses in multiple languages, which range from 4 hours to 6 months in various sectors of IT, BSFI, retail, and entrepreneurship for all age groups from school children, youth, professionals to senior citizens with over 6,000 trainings till date. Talking about the topic career in cloud computing, cloud computing is an on-demand availability of computer service resources, especially data storage and computing power, without direct active management of the user. Career in cloud computing is a dream for many. Today, we have a special guest, Mr. Akash Rao Mallareddy, M.D.N. Akash. He is an author, cloud engineer, entrepreneur, and researcher. He is an innovative and a deadline-driven cloud engineer with 8 months of experience in Google Cloud Platform, Terraform, Kubernetes, and CI/CD. He has published few research papers and books. His research interests include cloud computing, web technologies, image processing, and cybersecurity. He is currently working as a cloud engineering analyst at Searce Inc, Mumbai. On behalf of SEMS Group, I welcome you, sir. It's glad to have you here with us. Before moving into the webinar, I request everyone to make sure your mics are on mute. If you have any queries, please raise your hand or please type them in the chat box. Sir will be addressing them at the end of the session. Over to you, sir. Please proceed.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajesh, for the warm introduction. I hope I am audible. Rajesh, can you confirm?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, my voice is clear, right? Like no echo and all.
Yes, sir, it's perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, all. So, as Rajesh said, I'm Akash Rao Mallareddy, currently working as a cloud engineer analyst. Mainly I work on Google Cloud Platform, as well as till now I had trained nearly 500 plus students in cloud computing and how to choose cloud computing as a career in my school days, in my college days, in my professional life also. I had trained so many people, gave so many webinars. So coming to today's topic, I had prepared a deck, and that deck will be shared with you all along with the survey form, I guess. If you fill the survey form, they'll share you the deck at the end of this session. Let me share my screen first. Rajesh, can you confirm?
Yes, sir. It's audible and it's visible also.
The PPT is
In
in
presentation mode.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, this won't be a one-way webinar. In between, I might ask few questions. I need people to respond in YouTube live stream, live chat, or in this Zoom meeting chat option. So, Rajesh, please help me with the answers the participants are giving. And
Sure, sir.
yeah, mostly guys, please try to mute yourself. Don't unmute. If you have any queries, please raise your hand, or else please keep it in the chat box. All questions will be answered at the end. So coming to today's topic, I'm going to deliver a talk about, take a session about career in cloud computing. Before going to career in cloud computing, let me explain the today answering online storage, portable storage. Okay, go on. If you don't know anything, you can keep know something like that. If you know something, try to tell something like that. Some people are telling online storage, some people are telling portable storage, some people are telling it's a server, etc. So yeah, online data storage. Okay, go on. Yeah, fine. So coming to what actually the cloud is, uh, Rajesh, can you see the PPT? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So what is cloud exactly? The metaphor of internet is called cloud. The word cloud is used as a metaphor for the internet. And usually the typical meaning is the cloud refers to the servers that are accessed over the internet along with software and the databases that run on those servers. So cloud servers are located in data centers all over the world. So what actually the cloud and cloud computing concept here is, we'll have one data center. In that data center, there are n number of servers, n number of storage options, n number of networking concepts and all things happen inside of the data center. So there is a third party here, like we are customers, the people who are using are the customers, and data centers are the destination point where are all data will be stored. Like if you are from Andhra Pradesh, for example, India, Andhra Pradesh, and you want to serve, you want people to see your website from North America or Canada. So by using this cloud computing concept, your data, your website address, your code, everything will be stored in the server which is present in the zone of Canada or North America at that point. So in this cloud concept, these data centers are distributed across the world. Google Cloud has around 200 plus data centers, and that data centers are further divided into regions. Like in India, there are a couple of data centers. All that couple of data centers will serve entire India. In that, that is called regions. For example, South India and North India. Like that, one data center is located in Mumbai. For example, take another one in Kerala. So this Kerala one serves for entire South India, and the Mumbai one serves for the North India. So the data centers are the main point, a main part of the cloud computing concept. In the data centers, all the databases, all the servers, everything is physically kept in the data centers, and there are so many staff to maintain those data centers. And coming to okay, what is cloud computing now? So cloud computing is the delivery of different services through the internet. So as I said, we are the customers, and the cloud or that data centers are the destination. So in between us both, there is a third party that is called service provider. For example, Google Cloud Platform is a service provider. Amazon Web Services is a service provider. Microsoft Azure is a cloud service provider. All these people set up their own data centers in different places across the world, and they'll give us a graphical user interface, a GUI, so that we can log into their console and we can choose whatever we want. And these services and what cloud computing offers to the end user is data storage, servers, databases, networking, software, analytics, and more. So many services and options, features we'll get using this cloud computing. For example, let us take a scenario here. So we are there is some messages in the chat. Okay. Rajesh, there is some query regarding the last webinar. Please address it. And coming to our topic. So, there are, let us consider a scenario where I am a person with a startup idea. So I want to start a software services company similar to Infosys. What Infosys did, they'll take the software projects and they'll write some code, they deploy it on the overnet in internet cloud, and they'll deliver to the customer or client. So similarly, I want to keep a startup. So for the startup, I need a space for my company, set up my company. Next, I need to buy some computers or laptops for my staff. Let us think some 50 computers, high-end computers, high-end laptops. Each laptop costs around some 80,000 or something. So 50 means it's nearly 40 lakhs something for laptops itself. Then we need to have a server in the company only to safeguard our all laptops and all our data. So, and we need to have the more internet routers, because serving 50 laptops, high-end laptops is not an easy thing. And electricity, all this stuff will cost around 60 to 70 lakhs on the marketing and stuff as well. So here cloud computing plays an important role. For example, I took a laptop of Intel i5 version, i5 core. So, but for performing one task, I need i7. So I can't go to every time go to market and buy, remove this i5 chip and insert that i7 chip, right? So in cloud computing, everything is customizable. The physical system is referred in cloud computing as virtual machine, VM. For example, like all cloud computing service providers concept is similar, but the names are different. For example, in the AWS, we have EC2, Elastic Cloud Computing. So EC2 VM we call in AWS. For example, in GCP, we'll just call it a VM, virtual machine. So in virtual machine, we have we can launch a virtual machine within 1 minute. It is very simple. So in virtual machine, we can choose what type of OS, like Windows OS, Linux OS, Debian OS, CentOS, all this kind of OS we can choose, Windows 10, 11, etc., Windows XP, all the stuff, as well as the memory, how much SSD we want. We can choose n number of, for example, if we take physical thing, we only take some 500 GB or something SSD at the time of purchase. If we want to upgrade, we need to again go to the market, again buy some a hard disk and again insert in your system. Instead, in virtual machine, everything is customizable in seconds. In cloud computing, in any service provider, it may be Azure or GCP, everything you can change in minutes. Like if you are performing a small task that requires some 250 GB something, so you take some 300 or 400 GB SSD, and the next day you want some 1 TB SSD, and it's a high priority task as well. Then you go to virtual machine, you will customize to 1 TB SSD, and it's a matter of seconds. And this is all about the cloud computing. And yeah, are my slides moving?
Yeah, actually, it is in characteristics of cloud computing.
Yeah. So coming to the basic characteristics of cloud computing, what are the characteristics of cloud computing? First thing is on-demand self-service. As I said earlier, if you want anything, you can customize anytime, 24/7, 365 days. Broad network access and rapid elasticity. Elasticity means, for example, if you have a physical server, let us consider the game Pokemon Go. most of the people in this room might know Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go was launched a few years ago and it was a great hit. The game was a great hit. Within 1 month, they had so many lakhs and lakhs of millions of downloads. So first Pokemon Go people launched using their physical server, but they didn't even know that game would be that much popular, that most of the people are using. So they again, their server cannot handle that load. So they shifted towards Google Cloud Platform. So by using the Google Cloud Platform, they'll get rapid elasticity. Elasticity means, for example, let us take two countries, India and Canada. So 1,000 users are playing Pokemon Go at this point of time in India. The network, the servers, the bandwidth, everything shifts towards India. So, I mean, within no time. And for example, after 10 minutes, Indian people are decreasing. I mean, they stopped playing game, and Canada people are increasing, and the bandwidth, everything moves towards Canada. So by using this rapid elasticity, it is one of the characteristic of any cloud computing. I mean, not even only GCP does this. I mean, Google Cloud not only does this, even AWS, Azure also provide this same. So rapid elasticity and resource pooling. For example, there is two types in data centers. We can take a dedicated server or else we can pool the resources. For example, there is a 1 TB hard disk in the data center, and in the virtual machine, I configured only 250 GB, and remaining 750 GB is, leftover. Anyone with other cloud account or other company will use that. That is called resource pooling. And one more concept here is called node. There is a specific concept in GCP, that is node templates and node groups, node tenants. So what does this concept tell is, if you choose the node version means they will dedicate a physical server, physical storage to your company, which costs more. Because if you take node template or node group, node kind of thing in GCP, and if you take 1 TB today and 500 GB tomorrow, so you will be charged for this 1 TB only, because you are getting it dedicated. No one will use your hard disk, no one will use your server. So the resource pooling opposite is node kind of thing. And measured service, everything is calculated. Like if you are going to launch a virtual machine, everything is calculated on the right hand side or left hand side maybe. So for this R, for example, if you are using in a rapid pace, that means if you launched a website, so this moment 10 customers visited your website, in other hour 1,000 people, 1 lakh people visited. So according to this, the virtual machine scales, as well as everything is measured per second. You will be billed. Pay all these cloud computing models are pay as you go models. For example, if you use 1 hour of the virtual machine, and you will only pay for that 1 hour. After 1 hour, you turned off the virtual machine. You need not to pay that. Every billing, everything will be, calculated at the month end. That means we need to pay at the month end. You can see here, like the cloud has major characteristics. As I said, on-demand self-service, broad network access, measured service, rapid elasticity, resource pooling. And coming to the typical cloud computing architecture. So you can see the layers here, like you can see the exact layers here, the front end and back end part. The front end consists of client infrastructure, that means websites, apps, softwares, everything. And in between the backend and front end, it is connected with internet. And in the backend, you can see the application, service, runtime, storage, and all this security, everything is present here. Infrastructure. What you actually mean by infrastructure is this servers, this storage, this graphic cards, all this stuff comes under this. So all this application, we need to deploy our application in somewhere, right? That is in the backend part. and connections. For example, if you all know that 404 error, 403 error, bad gateway, 502 bad gateway, all this stuff related to networking concepts. So all the networking stuff, security, like if you keep an SSL certificate to your website, it is very rare you will be get hacked by the hackers. If you don't have SSL certificates, a certificate to your website, that means you won't get HTTPS in the URL of your web address. So there are some kind of stuff in the front end and back end part of the cloud architecture, all the client infrastructure. That means what we are seeing. For example, take facebook.com. We can see our profile. When you open facebook.com and log in, you can see your profile, your friends' posts, and news feed, videos, jobs, etc. All these things comes under the front end part. This front end part is entirely controlled using the back end. If back end is strong, then only the front end will be more successful or useful without any flaws. And as I said, cloud computing architecture is a combination of service-oriented architecture and event-driven architecture. And it consists of two parts, as I said, front end as well as back end. And front end, it is used by the client or customer. The end user will be using the front end part. It contains client-side interfaces and applications that are required to access the cloud computing platforms. For example, if you want to create anything like any website and host it over the internet, you need a server. For that server, you choose some Microsoft Azure platform. You need to deploy everything and all. Where you will deploy you need to go to the Microsoft Azure console. That is also the graphical user interface which we see. It all comes under the front end, and we can access these through web servers. For example, the front end includes web servers. For example, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Brave, the latest browser, which is a crypto browser. Brave, all this stuff. We can access this front end using this all browsers, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, etc. And backend. Coming to backend, like it is for the service providers, not for the end users, because all the service providers, all the engineers work here. That means they'll keep the code of the application, they'll run the testing here, they'll ensure the security here, and it manages in the backend part all the resources that are required to provide the proper front end will be managed here. It includes a huge amount of data. For example, if you take Facebook only or Instagram, and whenever we want to log in and log out, the entire thing process will be stored in the database. For example, Akash_Mallareddy. It's my username, and I'll type the password. So all my username, password, everything will be stored in the database of Facebook, which uses some hashing technique, so that Akash_Mallareddy is a username, right? It won't be directly stored in the database. By using some hashing technique, it will be stored in some special characters or special format, so that hackers won't steal my information or hack the Facebook database. So all these servers, deployment models, all this stuff will be present in the backend part. And this architecture consists of client infrastructure. For example, the servers, the storage, the application, the code, the service, the runtime cloud, and infrastructure management, security, etc. And coming to one of the important concept, anywhere you go in cloud computing, this cloud computing models will come at first only. There are two types of models. First is service models, second is deployment models. We'll talk about service models. Service models are three types: SaaS, software as a service; PaaS, platform as a service; IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So coming with SaaS, so whatever you see in the in your browser, for example, facebook.com, instagram.com, for example, Zoom, everything you see, for example, your Gmail, everything comes under software as a service. The end product what we are seeing is called, comes under a SaaS product, SaaS, and platform as a service. Platform as a service means the place where we deploy our code, we write our code, we connect the database with the code, we we use the operating, we declare the operating system. Everything need to run on some operating system, right? This laptop I'm using now runs on Windows. So everything, some people might use Linux. So everything, we need to choose one operating system. As well as coming to IaaS, infrastructure as a service. All these IaaS services are present in the data center. That means physical data center, servers, networking, storage, everything inside of the physical data center comes under infrastructure as a service. That is a service model. Platform as a service, we access platform as a service through software as a service, because when we go to Google Cloud Console, and there we can write the code, there we can connect the database with our code, etc. And this Google Cloud Platform Console is referred as SaaS product, cloud hosted application, also known as. And coming to deployment models, the second type of models in cloud. There are 4 types of deployment models, that is private cloud, community cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. First, let us look at the private cloud, like operated solely for a single organization, maybe on-premise or off-premise. So what is this on-premise or off-premise means? On-premise infrastructure, off-premise infrastructure. On-premise means the physical systems, like which is present inside of the organization physically. Off-premise means the cloud model. So private cloud consists of different possibilities, different advantages, because if you are working in some blockchain company or some payment gateway company, for example Razorpay is a payment gateway platform which provides secure transfer of money. So the data they contain is very high priority data they has. Like for example, I paid someone using Razorpay some 1,000 rupees, and my card number, my OTP, my CVV, everything will be recorded in the payment gateway of Razorpay. So all that data is a very sensitive data. So these people use the private cloud. That means no one can out of the organization can access the data inside of that organization. And coming to public cloud, not community, I'll tell the community at the end. Coming to public cloud, it is available to the general public, owned by a single organization or selling cloud services organization. For example, Gmail. Gmail is a service provided by Google. So everyone can access Gmail. If you have account, everyone outside public, inside any company people, everyone can access Gmail. And coming to hybrid cloud. Hybrid, you all know the meaning of hybrid. Combination of public and private. For example, there is a project. For example, my friend is working in a company called HCL. So in HCL, he works for Google. There is a project given by Google to HCL people. So he is working in HCL, but the project he kept and the codes for is for Google, Google Cloud. So what Google people does, they create a custom, a custom email ID. For example, worker his ID number, worker 15081506@google.com, and give that mail ID access to my friend. What my friend will do, my friend can access their data as well, because he is building the product for them. So he requires the content, he requires the data and some boilerplate code. So this kind of situations, the hybrid cloud works. Even the it is both private and public. Some information it won't be shared with other people. Some information it will be shared with other outside of the organization people also. And coming to community cloud, the community cloud means shared by several entities that have common purpose. For example, there is one app developed by my company called Happier Work. What that Happier Work will do is, it will take my company code. My company code is some C something. So I'll enter my company code, and every day I can log in and log out through that app. generally what people in companies do is there is a Excel sheet called time sheet. They'll go to that time sheet and they'll in login time they'll keep 10, logout time they'll keep 8. Whatever they keep, that is final. But this happy hour platform correctly tracks where the person is in the login time, in the logout time, and at what time he is logging in. Everything is stored in the database, and any higher official, higher person with the permission can view it. This happier work kind of apps, these can be used by different organizations. For example, if Accenture company comes to my company and asks for the service of happier work, so our people will generate a company code to Accenture. Whenever Accenture employee downloads our happier work app and enters his company code, and then also he can log in and log out using that app. It is called Community Cloud. And there are so many questions flooding. So, okay. Rajesh, please note down all the questions. I'll answer them at the end. And major cloud providers. So, frankly speaking, Amazon Web Services is the market leader with more than 30% of the share in the market. Most of the people in the US region as well as in India region use Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. So coming to the preferences, most people use Amazon Web Services, then Google Cloud, then Microsoft Azure, then IBM Cloud Oracle, finally Salesforce. All these are major cloud providers. Google Cloud stands in the second place at present because it launched after Amazon Web Services. So always the thing first launched have an edge over all other service providers. So Amazon Web Services is really easy and it has a good community. What is community means? Like there is a community of learners where you can post your queries about any doubt in Amazon Web Services. You will get so many answers. So this is lacking in Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure. There are training programs, free training programs going on in Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, but this community feature is better in Amazon Web Services. So most of the people learn Amazon Web Services. And these are the 6 major providers in the current market now. And there is one more cloud called Alibaba Cloud. Only China people use it, not other parts of the world. Only Chinese people use Alibaba Cloud. And benefits of cloud computing. What is the benefit of using the cloud computing? First thing is flexibility. Like we can choose the storage options as our wish, as well as if we are going to buy some hard disk or HDD in the market, means we'll check for our budget first. But here we are renting it. So we can we have the flexibility to on that virtual machine, off that virtual machine. Whenever it is on, we are consuming its services will be billed. And scalability, like a same elasticity. It can be scaled horizontally and vertically. And efficiency, we can get access to 24/7. And data security, in cloud the security is one of the major feature. Our data will be securely will be secured in the data centers, like no other organization or other people can access it unless and until we grant them the viewer access or editor access to that person. And strategic value, for example, there are so many regular updates coming in cloud. For example, cloud computing is the old thing now. Now the new hype is serverless computing. And in serverless computing means if you take some Facebook website, only if a user comes and visits Facebook website, then only the server data, database, everything will get occupied, or else it is kept unused and you are not billed, like that. And greater collaboration, as well as automatic software updates, like a pay as you go model. As I already said, pay as you go model. What you use, only for that you will pay the money. And document control, and For example, there is a version control in cloud computing. What is version control means? I wrote a code in Google Cloud App Engine. In App Engine in Google Cloud, we'll store all the code of any website or app or something. I wrote 10 lines of code today, and tomorrow morning I realized it is wrong, and I changed the code. And again after 10 days, I realized the first day I wrote the code right, that is correct. So again, how to track this? That thing is called version control. What are the changes we had made day to day is stored. We can easily access to the version, and we can see the date, what all things we changed, and we can easily copy paste the things. And disaster recovery, when our data will be stored in multiple servers, not only in one server. If, for example, some tsunami or some disaster occurred to a data center, don't worry, your data is safe in one more server. All the data centers won't be crashed unless and until some asteroid falls on Earth. And we all have that flexibility to change according to our needs. And coming to the most important part, career in cloud computing. How to start a career? What are the career options in cloud computing? Before telling this cloud architect path, I'm going to tell some options. Like if you join a company by learning some Google Cloud or AWS, first you will be mostly giving analyst role. For example, Cloud Engineering Analyst. Otherwise, directly Cloud Engineer. Both are same, but for freshers, the role will be analyst. After that, cloud engineer. After that, senior cloud engineer. After that, DevOps engineer. After that, cloud consultant. Then principal consultant. That is the topmost point where a cloud person in career in cloud computing can grow. And this cloud architect is above, DevOps engineer. So the entire path I'm going to explain. Before that, there is a difference between cloud and DevOps as well. So cloud engineers works on the infrastructure and few transformations and automation. But in DevOps, everything, the DevOps engineer writes the code as well, and everything will be automated in DevOps. And coming to this cloud architect part, how to start learning cloud computing and how to get a job as a cloud engineer. So first we need to know any one of the operating system. For example, Windows, Linux or Unix, anything. We need to basically know how to run commands over the terminal in Linux, PowerShell in Windows, and command prompt also in Windows. We need to know how to run the commands like mkdir means make directory in any in Linux. All these commands we need to learn. After learning the operating system, we need to learn any one of the programming language. For example, Python, Go, SQL, .NET, any one of the programming language. So that if there is a requirement to write the code, means we can easily write it. Then we need to learn carefully. This is the most important part where most of the people will fail. Networking part. We need to learn what are the virtual networks. What is LAN, WAN, private and public and private networks, everything we need to get a glance of it. We need to have a hands-on networking. After that, you need to choose any of the cloud service provider. For example, for beginners, I suggest Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure are the easy thing to learn. Start learning the cloud computing. And Google Cloud Platform is the hardest thing. Like if you know Google Cloud Computing means you can do anything in AWS and Azure. That much hard Google Cloud Computing, Google Cloud Platform is. And for beginners, I suggest preparing for Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services, learning all how the things works inside of the console and writing few basic level certifications in Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services will help you to get a good job in cloud companies. Right now in the market, there is a huge demand for cloud architects, cloud engineers as well. All this stuff combined, you will land in a job called cloud engineer. once you are getting the live project experience, means in a couple of years or in 4 to 5 years, you can see yourself in the role of cloud architect. And coming to the conclusion part, like this cloud computing is a buzzword a couple of years ago. Now the buzzword everyone are talking about is Web 3.0 as well as serverless computing. And the cloud computing promises increased flexibility, scalability, and reliability on the, all our data, all our servers, all our information and accessibility. Despite the potential gains achieved from cloud computing, the organizations are slow in accepting due to some security issues and challenges associated with cloud. So cloud computing is very booming, but not all the organizations are adopting cloud computing. Only few organizations and most slowly organizations are moving towards the cloud. And by this, I'll conclude the session. Thank you. I'm open for questions now.
Yeah, sir. We have a question from Lokesh. And
Okay.
the question is, for a transport in cloud, how can we secure our data?
For example, if you take in this case for transfer from one layer to another layer, everything is inbuilt in any of the cloud provider. For example, AWS, if you choose AWS, your data will be secured. You will be using the ports, TCP/80, all these ports, UDP port, you will be using these ports so that your data will be securely transferred or transported from one location to another location.
Thank you, sir. And there is another question, like, when making a website, our cloud services providers are better?
For example, if you are making a static website, then go for GitHub. It is a free cloud service provider. If you are making a dynamic, that means both user can interact with your website, go for some Heroku. Heroku is an initiative of Salesforce Cloud. Heroku is used by most of the developers. It is also a free model. So instead of paying the cost, you can go for Heroku. It's a free thing, as well as GitHub. If the website is static, go for GitHub. If website is dynamic, go for Heroku. But if you have a startup and most of the people visit your startup, for example, an e-commerce store, choose some AWS or GCP. Both are best, not Azure. Azure is not recommended.
Yes, sir. And another question, like, can an information technology graduate can be a cloud engineer?
Yes, even a civil engineer can be a cloud engineer. In my company, I work with people who are with a mechanical background, who are with a civil background also. Like, there is no barrier, no such thing. Only CSC people need to join cloud, all the stuff. If you learn some cloud, most of the companies will welcome you, irrespective of your educational background.
That's great, sir. And another question, like, when is the start of cloud computing and what are the things that help people in using cloud computing?
So cloud computing came into boom 4 years ago, back in 2017, 2016. Cloud computing is a booming thing. Now it is Web 3.0, AI, ML, all these things are trending. But back in a couple of 4 years back, cloud computing is the only thing people are talking about. For example, if nowadays everyone are talking about the cryptocurrency. Similarly, 4 years back, everyone used to talk about cloud computing, and all these major service providers exist from more than 10 years.
Thank you, sir. And another question from Kiran. Where can I learn cloud computing and what are the further career options? And is it easy to land in this as a fresher?
Yeah. Good question. So if you check the Google Cloud LinkedIn page or Twitter page, they'll continuously organize some events to get people learn Google Cloud. For example, there is a platform called Quick Labs. Q. It starts with Q. Quick Labs. In Quick Labs, every month we'll get a new program, and in that new program, you have a chance to work on hands-on labs. Hands-on labs means hands-on real-time experience in Google Cloud. Like Quick Labs is a child company of Google Cloud. So similarly, Amazon Web Services, Amazon Builders, Amazon Community Builders. It is a platform where they are giving people training on Amazon Web Services. And Reskill is one of the platform where if you want to, start your career in cloud, you can go there and learn. Restart. If someone is working as some software engineer and they want to shift to cloud, for all those people also, Restart is a best platform. And it is very easy to land as a cloud engineer in a fresher time. Like you will be paid around 4 to 6 lakhs.
Thank you, sir. And another question, like, can experienced developers be shift to cloud computing easily rather than going from fundamentals?
Yeah, experienced, as I said, every even the fresher or experienced developer need to go from the fundamentals. Like it is the same for everyone. If you want to shift, it is the same as compared to a fresher learning cloud computing. Because if you are working as a software engineer, means you will be working on code, some operating system. But if you are shifting towards the cloud, you need to know about the operating system, you need to know about the networking. Even the fresher does the same.
So we have another question. Like, what is the safest database that I can use, since my website have a login system and it's student portal and have a learning machine?
If you are using any paid service, they'll provide you the MySQL or MongoDB. For if your data is stored in tables and rows, go for MySQL. Or else if your data is not stored in tables and rows, go for MongoDB. Rajesh, please check. Please check the YouTube live stream as well. If there are any questions there, also you can ask.
Yes, sir.
Guys, if there are so many other questions also, I'm ready to answer your queries. You can post in chat box.
Another question is, where can I easily learn Python language?
Python W3 Schools, w3schools.com. W3 is the number, schools.com. You can learn C, Java, Python, web development, everything for free in W3 Schools in a very effective way. It is a self-learning thing.
And guys, if you have any other questions, we are open for questions.
And guys, the PPT which I was speaking will be shared along with the, your e-certificates. You can fill the survey form, feedback form, which is kept in the, chat box.
This seems like everyone is clear about this, and let's wind up the session. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time with us, and we got a lot to know about cloud computing. And I request all the participants to fill the feedback form, which is available in the chat box, and you will be receiving your e-certificates within 5 working days. And thank you all for attending this session.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Hi, sir. Good evening.